Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Military Mind, bringing you news from the front lines. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Overnight, Russian forces attacked Ukraine with 77 drones, according to military officials. The country's air defense successfully downed 56 of the incoming UAVs. Moving to Russia, the Ukrainian armed forces have confirmed an attack on the Krasnodar region. The target, according to the Russian General Staff, was a military airfield, with Kyiv claiming that Moscow uses the installation to launch Shahed drones at Ukraine and service aircraft performing missions in the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions. Additionally, the Russian Defense Ministry reported that 28 drones were shot down over Russian territory on the night of February 6. On the front line, fighting for the city of Vovchansk continue in the Kharkiv region. Moscow forces hold the northern part of the city, while the rest remains under the control of the Ukrainians. According to military sources, there are Russian infantry units in the north of Vovchansk launching regular assaults on targets in the city, especially the aggregate plant. In addition, they are trying to cross the Vovcha River, which splits the city in two, in order to strengthen their control over the area. And now let's move to the Congo conflict, where the capture of Goma by M23 rebels marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict in eastern Congo. The city, known for its strategic importance and rich mineral resources, has become the epicenter of intense fighting. Despite the rebels' declaration of a unilateral ceasefire earlier this week, heavy fighting continues in and around Goma. The Congolese government has dismissed the ceasefire as false messaging, citing ongoing hostilities and the rebels' continued advance. The situation has been further exacerbated by reports of severe human rights violations. Hundreds of women were reportedly raped and burned to death after militants raided the Muzenzi prison in Goma. The Rwanda-backed M23 group is suspected to be responsible for this atrocity. The international community has been closely monitoring the situation, and the International Criminal Court has announced that it is actively investigating alleged crimes committed in the region, emphasizing the urgency and focus of their ongoing investigation. Today, we open with footage of a recent operation featuring Ukrainian forces deploying cluster munitions against Russian troops. Now, the second part of the footage shows a direct hit on an exposed Russian position, resulting in multiple casualties. Cluster munitions, which disperse numerous smaller bomblets over a wide area, have been supplied to Ukraine by the United States. As cluster munitions are banned by international convention, Ukraine has committed to using these weapons solely to dislodge concentrations of enemy soldiers.
Все, кассета отработала.
Я ее рот, эту кассету,
In May 2024, Russian forces launched an assault on the city of Vovchansk in Ukraine's Kharkiv region. Despite initial advances, the offensive stalled, leading to protracted urban combat. Ukrainian troops mounted a staunch defense, engaging in intense street battles to repel the invaders. The clashes resulted in significant destruction throughout the city. In this archive footage from May 2024, see a failed Russian attempt to seize a 9-story building in Vovchansk, and Ukrainian soldiers brave enemy fire as they dash across open streets. A notable aspect of the Battle for Vovchansk was the deployment of inexperienced Russian troops. Reports indicate that Moscow sent poorly trained soldiers with minimal combat experience to the front lines, contributing to the high casualty rates and the eventual stalling in their offensive. In a recent operation in Russia's Kursk region, Ukrainian airborne assault forces captured an entire platoon of Russian servicemen, a total of 21 POWs. The captives include 5 individuals from the 155th Marine Brigade of the Russian Pacific Fleet, a unit previously implicated in war crimes against Ukrainian prisoners of war. The footage shared by Ukrainian military blogger Yuri Butusov provides a rare glimpse into the ongoing conflicts within Russian territory. The 155th Marine Brigade has been redeployed from other fronts of the Kursk region, indicating a strategic shift in Russian military resources. Now, this redeployment underscores the escalating significance of the Kursk region in this broader conflict. Additionally, reports have emerged that North Korean soldiers recently dispatched to Russia have been deployed to the Kursk region and are actively engaged in combat operations against Ukrainian forces.
Ткач Вадим Александрович, 22.01.2005 года рождения, родом с Приднестровской Молдавской Республики. Являюсь военнослужащим 810-й бригады в звании рядовой стрелок.
Колмаков Вячеслав Олегович, Московская область, Сергиев Посад, 155-я бригада морской пехоты, 2-й батальон, 3-я рота, матрос, стрелок.
Я Батырханов Ренат Кажапарович, 81 года рождения. Являюсь военнослужащим 155-й бригады, 3-й рота, 2-го бата, стрілок.
Зараз ви бачите 21 військовослужбовця Російської Федерації, які обрали вірний шлях. Вони здалися підрозділам Збройних сил України на Курщині. Замість того, щоб брати участь у м'ясних штурмах без належної підготовки та підтримки, ці люди обрали вірний шлях, здалися Збройним силам України. Закликаємо усіх військовослужбовців Російської Федерації: не беріть участі у м'ясних штурмах, не реалізовуйте фантазії вашого диктатора, здавайтеся Збройним силам України та зберігайте своє життя. Слава Україні! Героям слава!
And with that footage, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.